It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Being a contrarian is very profitable, and it can allow you to do things that others will not do.
Yeah, what I think is so interesting is Warren, not only does he say this in every shareholder letter, you've probably even heard he has a famous quote that he says, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Or maybe you listen to Dave Ramsey and you hear him say, live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. Or maybe you're a sports fan and you've heard Jerry Rice say, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't. It's this idea of I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to manage things differently. I'm going to move in a different direction than the herd. And Brian, as I was going through this, I thought, Brian kind of has a thing that he talks about that fits in this same line of thinking, fits in the same line of thought.
Well, I think a lot of people, what I love about our channel is that people, if you're listening to this on the podcast or on YouTube, you're like, that's great, but what do I actually do? Where does the next dollar actually need to be deployed so I can have this contrarian's mentality and actually accomplish my financial goals? We created it. We have the financial order of operations because I want you, if you can understand, if you follow the financial order of operations and take just a little bit of today's happiness, just a little bit, I'm talking about a sliver. I still want you to use the lion's share to live in the life that you have, but you will be able to build that great, big, beautiful tomorrow of the future, and these 9 steps are going to get you there.
If you want to see the free deliverable, you can go to our website, moneyguy.com/resources. You can go get the free deliverable, print it out, put it on your bathroom mirror. If you want to know a little more, you can go check out the course. You can go to learn.moneyguy.com to check out that. But you may be asking, okay, well, I don't understand. How is that contrarian? Follow the foo. Why is that contrarian? Well, we know it's contrarian because the statistics show us that 59% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. And if you have less than $1,000 in savings, I'm going to argue that you are not following the financial order of operations because pretty much step 1 gets you there, gets you really, really close.
Well, what Warren does in this year's letter to shareholders, he talks about the fact that bonds are kind of scary right now. It is not the greatest time to be a bond investor. And unfortunately for most insurance providers, because of the structure of their financial statements, their balance sheets specifically, they're kind of stuck having to make some really horrible decisions on how they put to use their excess reserves. Warren brags about the fact that he has such a stable balance sheet that he's able to go more on the equity side of what he does with his excess funds and really try to maximize the opportunity. And the same thing can happen to you personally. If you will focus on risk mitigation, that's why the first step of financial order of operations is deductibles covered, is making sure that there's not some little thing that's going to throw your financial life in the ditch. You can then later, the more stable you are financially, the more risk you can do comfortably because you're not worried about losing your job. You're not worried about, if you're in a car accident, if the water heater goes out in your house, all that stuff has been accounted for so you can let your army of dollar bills actually grow as efficiently and maximize the opportunity.
Yeah, the takeaway that we got from this is that financial security gives you freedom and flexibility. It's because of how sound his insurance business is that he can go make the investments and he can do. It's the same way in our personal financial lives. A lot of folks in the middle of the COVID downturn from an investing perspective got really, really excited because things were depressed. There were opportunities. It's those folks who had some money on the sidelines or had an ability to save more, to put more to work. They were able to capitalize on that opportunity. If you have a solid, secure, foundational financial footing, it's going to set you up to take advantage of opportunities.
Well, cash is super unsexy and doesn't yield a lot of money. But like you said, in a pandemic, when markets lose 30 to 35% in a matter of weeks, that cash can become one of the most valuable resources you have because it becomes essentially an opportunity fund.
Absolutely.
So take advantage of that. Understand financial security gives you the freedom and flexibility to create the best version of your financial life.